These are the ingredients you will need to make pork tamales in salsa roja. Recipe makes 40 tamales. We're going to start by preparing our marinade, cutting our tomatoes in half and removing the pedestal. Once you're done with all of your tomatoes, put them in boiling water with your morita chiles. While these soften, start cutting your meat in little cubes. I make them this size and put several pieces in one tamal, but you can do bigger pieces and do one piece of pork per tamal. Put your meat in a bowl, and once done, add salt and mix. At this point, our tomatoes have peeled their skin and our chiles are soft. Time to blend them. Add your garlic to the mix and blend for 5 to 10 minutes. To thin out your marinade, you can blend your mix with chicken broth. In this case, I didn't have any, so I used the same water I cooked my tomatoes and chiles in, adding a piece of chicken bouillon at the end. Strain your marinade onto the meat, mix it in, cover it with a bag or plastic wrap, and let it rest in your fridge for at least 1 hour. You can also leave it overnight. At this point, you are done with your marinade. Moving on to the masa for tamales. If you can buy your masa ready for tamales, you can skip this part. But I want to show you how we go from masa harina to masa for tamales. Start by making your masa according to the package instructions. Mix in masa harina and water. You'll know it is done when it doesn't stick to your hands and you don't feel any dry lumps in the masa. Now you can add your lard and start incorporating it into your masa, making sure that the consistency of the masa is the same all the way through. Then start adding your chicken broth. Again, I didn't have any, so I used water with chicken bouillon dissolved in it. Mix until you reach your desired consistency. I like to try my masa and see if I need to change something. In this case, it could use some salt and extra lard, so I added it and adjusted it with water to get this final consistency. Don't be scared if yours is a little runnier. This masa is very forgiving. But I must warn you, if your masa is too thin, it will be harder to wrap your tamales without making a mess. For these type of tamales, we use banana leaves to wrap and cook them. The leaves I bought were already cooked. You can see it by the color, which is a different shade of green than our raw one. If yours are not, you'll need to pass them through a fire or a hot surface. My advice is to rapidly pass them over a flame several times until you'll notice they change color. Do not leave them on the flame for too long as they can burn. If you too get cooked banana leaves, make sure to clean each leaf with a kitchen towel. For 40 tamales, I used about 5 leaves. To cut, use a knife or scissors to make an incision and then pull the pieces apart with your arms. As a reference, you can make each leaf piece 12 inches wide. The height is determined by the leaf. Before we move on, I recommend you prepare your steamer. Put some water at the bottom of the steamer, then your steamer basket. If you have any leftover banana leaves, put them between the basket and the tamales. Once you have a stack of banana leaves trimmed, it is time to fill and wrap your tamales. If you notice, under light, the leaf has 2 different shades of lines, one lighter than the other. In the light side is where we will put our masa and filling. Darker stripes should face the outside. Put your mix of the masa first. Try to make a dip in the middle of the masa. Here is where you will put your meat and marinade. Move it around to make the distribution evenly. Here comes the fun part. Wrapping. First, get the part of the leaf that is farther away from you and fold it twice. Get one side of the leaf and then fold it 3 times. Fold the opposite side once and your wrapping is done. Here's another angle. Get the top, move it towards you and fold it twice. Then, get one of the sides and fold it 3 times. Lastly, fold the other side once. If you fold it like this, you won't have any problem with your masa leaking from the wrapping. Now, put all of the tamales inside your steamer. If you have some trimmings of banana leaves left, put that on top of the tamales, then a plastic bag, and lastly, a kitchen towel. All this will help the water stay in. Put the top of the steamer and take it to the stove on medium-low heat for 1.5 hours. Once you're done, your tamales will look like this. Don't be scared. Once cooled down, they will be firmer in texture, just like this. And this is how you make tamales. Now that the recipe is over, you probably ask yourself, why do the tamales in this video look like these ones? And the reason is because of how much variety of tamales we have in Mexico and Latin America. In Mexico alone, we have mukbipollo, zacahuil, tamales barbones, tamales norteños, tamales oaxaqueños, uchepos, just to mention a few. The tamales in this video are tamales Veracruzanos, Tancoqueños, a style of tamal veracruzano from the region of Tancoco, Veracruz. If you would like to learn more about this region of Mexico and some more insights about tamales, I invite you to my Patreon, where I will be sharing interesting facts about this and upcoming videos. If you have any questions about this recipe, leave them down below. Buen provecho y nos vemos hasta la próxima.